What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I am bringing you my next video in my must-have must-gag series. This is a series that was inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series. I will have both her Will I Buy It series and the community playlist, which I am a part of, linked down below in the description box. In that box I will also have all of the Instagram pages that I get these pictures from. I will have what is on my face. I did not do a tutorial, and yeah, so let's get to the reason why this video is up so late. So I am recording this on Sunday at 3:30 basically. I just got back from my week-long vacation, and literally today we just got back from Charleston. Before then I was in Hawaii, so I was able to pre-film a lot, and pretty much this is going to be the only video I have to film for a really long time. But this is like one of those videos you cannot pre-film. So I am here. I'm bringing it to you guys, even though I'm in the back of my mind stressing over school once again because I'm back in this atmosphere. If you do want to know just really quickly what's on my eyes, I will say that I'm using both of my liquid shadows or cream shadows from Ulta Beauty. The one in my crease is Scrunchie, it's the matte, and then the one on my lid is Raised on Promises. I'm also using both of my Viseart Project Pan palettes just to kind of mix and match some matte shadows, just to kind of give this look some depth. Everything else is Project Pan. So yeah, if it's not in my actual Project Pan, it is going to be shown in my products that I'm using up video, and I will link both of those up in the cards. But without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead into this. I don't know when this is going to go up. It most likely will not be going up Sunday, just because that's a really quick turnaround, and I talk a lot about it. I talk a lot about a lot of items in these videos, and it takes a really long time for my computer to edit because it's super old. So whenever this does go up, yeah, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. We have a lot to talk about. Like I said, I was on vacation, so a lot of these things I didn't really get any feelings about. I just kind of tabbed it when I had the time or when I had the Wi-Fi, to be honest. So let us scoot over. As per usual, I'm gonna go ahead and just put everything over here. I'm gonna go down to the very first item that I tagged, and it is the Divina Cosmetics multi-chromes. Now these are available as of right now. They released earlier this morning, and they retail for $8. It is her normal 26mm pans, and she only released 5 shadows in this multi-chrome finish. I've seen a couple of videos, and basically from the people that I trust and who are actually affiliated with this brand, they've stated that you can clearly see the duochrome. The multi-chrome is a little harder to catch and really see. And since I do have a bunch of multi-chromes from Kristen Lee Cosmetics, and I have a lot of shadows from Divina in general, I did go ahead and skip this particular collection. But that is not to say that I did not purchase from Divina. I actually just recently purchased from her while I was on my vacation. Actually, I had a pretty lengthy amount of stuff that I wanted. I got the green bundle and a couple other random single shadows and some Z palettes. So yeah, even though I didn't purchase this particular collection, I did purchase something from Divina. Next, Estee Lauder is coming out with a new collection as part of their Bronze Goddess overall collections that they do a lot. They came out with 3 bronzers. None of them look to even pretend to work on my complexion, but that face palette looks really pretty. I'm not gonna get it because, as you guys know, I'm not purchasing high-end brands, but that face palette looks beautiful. And if for some reason it is still in stock by the end of this year, or when I'm really at a low moment, then I will probably purchase it because it looks really pretty. As of right now, we do not know the price of that though. It's My Ray Ray and BH Cosmetics came out with their second round palette. A lot of people are loving this palette. For me, it's just not completely speaking to me. I think it's a beautiful arrangement, and I'm really happy that she came out with a more colorful palette, but for me it's just not where it's at. I like jewel tones, but only particular jewel tones, you know. And this particular palette, just like I said, is not speaking to me. I did get her first palette and that formula was impeccable. I have used it once in a while when it comes to like weddings and stuff like that, and I don't plan to kind of declutter anytime soon, but if that's the same formula that this palette is, I would recommend it because I really did like that first BH Cosmetics It's My Ray Ray palette. My battery is dying, so let me switch. So I didn't say anything about my hair, but this was kind of my vacation hair. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it in, but yeah, this is new. Next, I don't know if this is even really applicable anymore, but Strobe Cosmetics recently restocked their Creepy Cute palette. I have not purchased this, nor do I really intend to. I have the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette, and I have a lot of singles that really mirror this color scheme, but a lot of people really love this palette and Strobe Cosmetics mattes. I only have metallics from them, and honestly I'm not a huge fan, which is probably another reason why I have not gone ahead and pulled the plunge on this palette. Alamar Cosmetics came out with 3 blush trios. These look really pretty, especially that darker one. I'm highly interested. I'm not supposed to be buying blushes this year either. Oops. I'm not supposed to be buying blushes this month or this year either. So these, as of right now, will not be getting purchased. And like I always say, if I have a really weak moment, they might get purchased. But specifically that dark one is really calling my name. And then I think she's coming out with lip glosses. I'm not a huge fan of lip glosses. I have like 10. That's enough. So yeah. MAC is coming out with an Electric Wonder collection. I love the packaging. I really love the packaging. I wish one of the bronzers would work for me, and I'm hoping that the highlighters are actually highlighters. I will probably be picking up 1 or 2 of the lipsticks just because I really do enjoy the colors. The eyeshadow palettes are trash. I don't want those. And then maybe 1 of the highlighters, depending on what he's looking like. Kristen Lee Cosmetics seems to have come out with a new highlighter, and it's called Anxious. It looks to be a little too icy for me and my complexion, but I did just kind of want to tell you guys in case it works for your complexion. Catrice Cosmetics has expanded their liquid camouflage concealer range. I'm pretty sure this concealer also has a foundation to go along with it. Oh yeah, it's that drop foundation. That foundation, like, we had that whole controversy at the beginning of Fenty because people were finding out that it's the exact same formula, but Catrice's color range or shade range was a lot smaller than Fenty's. So it'll be interesting to see whether Catrice expands their foundation range along with this concealer extended range, and then how people really go from there. Delancey Cosmetics has been releasing a lot. I have reviewed 2 of their palettes on my channel. One I purchased, one they actually sent to me, and this one they actually did a sponsored post, and this one actually intrigued me. It has some pinks, some purples, some reds, and then a couple of neutrals. I'm not gonna really be like running to get this. There is a coupon code. It's Delancey 50. If you put that, you apparently get 50% off of their best-selling palettes and free shipping, but I think you have to do it off their website. I've never purchased from their website. I've only purchased their palettes, well, the one palette that I purchased off of Amazon. So I can't tell you whether they have good shipping or not, but yeah, I really was actually intrigued by this color scheme, and maybe later on I will get it. I don't believe ColourPop is still doing this, but just in case, I will talk about it. They're doing a build your own palette, basically where you can build a palette and you get a bunch of the shadows or the cheek products for free because they have like a set price that they're going to charge you. A lot of people love these. I've actually never done this, which is interesting because granted, I don't really purchase much ColourPop, but I've never done this. But I think the Z palettes are beautiful. I wish these Z palettes had came out before I made a ColourPop order. I actually did make a ColourPop order, strictly buying lipsticks that I've been watching and hunting. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to be buying lipsticks, but I've been extremely stressed. Maybe I'll do a get ready with me talking about that, but yeah. So the Z palettes look really, really pretty. Glaminatrix Cosmetics is intending to release an eyeshadow palette. It's called the Sandra Rose palette. I think what I'm gonna do, so I've talked about them, I believe, in my last must gag, and I said I really wanted to purchase some singles from them. I went on their website and I was fair game to purchase them, and long story short, between the price of the singles, the shipping, and even like the taxes, it was insane. And just because I didn't have too many singles that I really, really wanted to bring into my collection, so I'm gonna see what this eyeshadow palette is looking like, and if it's up my alley, then I will most likely purchase the eyeshadow palette over the singles, just because the single situation was just getting a little too out of control. Next, Tarte came out with their Icy Betch palette. They completely changed it, as I am sure you've heard many times over at this point. And I was still considering purchasing this. I really was. But in all honesty, it's not the palette that I fell in love with. That highlighter is not gonna work on my complexion. And then on top of that, it just, I've seen one or two reviews. The reviews, even though they're speaking highly of them, of this palette, the eyeshadows are extremely, you have to build them up. And I'm not a huge build up eyeshadow person. I want my shadows to be pigmented and let me blend them out. So that's that. And then on top of that, I did just purchase the Lick and Lash Playful palette, and it does have blues in there. So I think I'm gonna put this on the back burner, and maybe if I have an extra room for a palette 1 month and I'm still kind of interested in it, I will purchase it. And then on top of that, one of my reviews that I watched, I can't remember who it is, but I will try and remember and link her down below, and obviously the review as well. The cover is a sticker, and honestly, the one thing I really loved about the Tartelette mock-up was that it was like the actual packaging. Not that I'm saying the packaging is going to make or break this palette for me. It is only $24, but we will see. Parktique. I don't know how to say this brand. This is the sister brand to Sigma Beauty. I'm interested in purchasing these brushes. I went through a huge phase when it came to Sigma, was obsessed with a bunch of their brushes, and then I switched over to a lot of natural hair brushes. And I just felt like I'm not about to pay the price of some higher end synthetic brushes when I can just purchase really, really good natural hair brushes. But the thing about this line is it's really cheap in comparison to Sigma Beauty and other synthetic brush lines. So I will look into purchasing these. I don't think I purchased any brushes yet this month. I have to think about it. And then this might be one of my brush purchases for the month. Cosmetics released only 20 of this what is it called, Flower Child palette. I believe that's the Flower Garden palette that I talked about in my last must gag. Now, this was released while I was on vacation, so of course I was busy, didn't realize, and by the time I realized, all 20 of the actual already made palettes were sold out. They had a pre-sale, and I'm thinking, okay, it's pre-sale, I'm not gonna rush to purchase it. I'm gonna take my time, get back to the hotel, and then I will purchase it then. By the time I got back to the hotel, the pre-sale was sold out too. So for me, Cosmetics, I'm just annoyed. I get it, they're a small indie brand, and you know, there's only so many, so much stock that you want to say that you have, and even like when you're pre-ordering, you don't want it to be too much. I get that, but I'm annoyed. So maybe later, if this is back in stock when I'm still interested in it, maybe, but as of right now, I'm good. The Urban Decay Game of Thrones collection. So as you guys know, I'm not a Game of Thrones fan at all. I told you guys that when they were sneak peeking this collection. And I knew they were going to do the eyeshadow palette like this. I really did. I am not a fan of that eyeshadow palette. Like a lot of people have said, it would have been a lot better had they broken them up and done mini palettes. And even if they wanted it to be like in this kind of collectible packaging, all they had to do was do the mini palettes and then have little slots where you could put each individual palette, so that if you are a huge Game of Thrones fan, you can get the full palette with, or the full kit and caboodle with all of the palettes in the little packaging. Or if you're not as big of a Game of Thrones fan, or if you just want to be more selective, you could just get one or two of the eyeshadow palette color schemes that you're interested in. So I think they missed the mark on that, because a lot of people who are not going to be really big into that packaging, or they don't want all of the color schemes, are not going to purchase that palette because of that. So I think that kind of was disappointing. Those brushes look awful. The highlighter palette looks okay, but it's not like, I'm not dying to get it, you know, like if it happens to be on sale, maybe. The lipsticks, I mean, the only thing that I'm actually interested in picking up from this collection is that duochrome eyeliner. It looks white, but it has like a blue duochrome. That's very interesting. I don't have any duochrome eyeliners, so I would love to bring that into my collection. I have tried Urban Decay's 24-hour glide on pencil before, and it was not the best for me. It did not really stick into my waterline, so I'm not rushing to get this eyeliner, but I would like to try it, seeing as, like I said, I've never tried a duochrome eyeliner, and I, to be honest, don't know if there is one that is actually out. Okay, so Fenty released a couple of new items. So she released her bronzers, which I am extremely excited for. I will probably be purchasing those after I get off of recording this. She released a another duo highlighter that's like a very light bronze, maybe like a gold bronze situation. And then she released a highlighter that she called Geisha Chic. I'm not about to get into it. I did study Japanese. I like to think I'm conscious of other cultures and ethnicities. And I'm going to leave it at that. Long story short, she has decided to pull Geisha Chic, and she's going to be renaming it. I think that's good enough. Yeah. Okay, next. BOYO Cosmetics. It's an Australian brand, and they showed these brushes, and I was like, can I have them all? These are very, very pretty. Like I said, it is an Australian brand. And the brush set is $65. I do believe these are synthetic. Let me see. Yeah, these are synthetic brushes, but they're very, very pretty. So I'm not gonna rush to get these. Like I said, I like synthetic, but I've really been getting into natural hair brushes. So we will see. I may purchase them though. I'm just not dying to purchase them right now. Terra Mooncosmetics is coming out with an Astrology palette. Let me see if they have shown the whole palette. I don't think they've shown the whole palette. They've just shown swatches, or maybe the swatches are all the whole palette. I will show everything. No, it's not. I just saw the inside. So I will show you guys a mock-up of it, and then all the swatches that they have released as of today. It looks pretty. It does look like they're all shimmers, so I want to see kind of where this palette goes. But yeah, I'm open to it. Drunk Elephant came out with their own melting cleanser. How much is it? I don't remember how much this is. Let me see. They don't say on the post. Here it is, products, tap to view. So the melting cleanser is $34, and I do believe it is 1 fluid ounce. No, it's 3.880 ounces of product. I remember seeing somewhere a comparison of this melting cleanser, the pharmacy melting cleanser, and like a couple of others, and I do believe they were saying how this is the better price per ounce. I have not purchased it nor tried it, but yeah, it's interesting. We will see. I might purchase it to test it out. Clionadh Cosmetics has also released some more parts of their stained glass collection since my last video. I will have any new single shadows that they have released, but they've also released these brushes. I'm actually really interested in these brushes. I do believe these are going to be synthetic. I want to say this brand is cruelty free. But I'm interested. I actually am interested. The design is cute. It looks kind of cool. We will see where it goes. As for all of the eyeshadows and stuff, honestly, at this point, it's become too much. I can't keep track. It's way too much. So I believe they said they were going to finish showing all of the actual items this weekend. So by tomorrow, technically, all of the items should have been shown. And I'm hoping then we can just like see a full scope of what this release really is, because it's too much. Andy Candy also has come out with a brush set. This looks a little not for me personally, but I did want to let you guys know in case you are down for this type of brush set. It does look synthetic. So yeah. Paul and Joe has come out with their Doraemon collab, where they have lipsticks, powder, stuff like that. I did go on their website to see if I could purchase it, and I can't purchase it, which really kind of sucks. Maybe this will be, I think Paul and Joe is sold on Beauty Bay, so maybe it'll go to Beauty Bay, and then maybe I could scoop up what I want from there. But as of right now, I unfortunately will not be able to get my hands on that collection. Ulta Beauty has done a collab with Marvel for their Avengers collection. I must say, I still am not intrigued by this collection either, but I feel like this is better than the Sephora collection, because that Sephora collection just looked like they slapped on the name quite literally to some random packaging, some random items, and was like, there you go. At least this somewhat looks together, but yeah, okay. Glow Recipe came out with a new product. It's a vitamin C serum. I love vitamin C serums. Right now I'm actually using the Ordinary's vitamin C serums, which is suspended in something. I can't remember what it's suspended in, but it's the one with 30%. I'm enjoying that actually, but I do tend, wow, but all of my previous serums have been in more on this liquid dropper type format, so I might pick this up to have an option of which vitamin C serum I want to use during the day, because I really have been enjoying Glow Recipes products. This is $49, which is not cheap at all, but it depends on your price range. Makeup Maniacs came out with this palette. It's called the Uranus palette. And honestly, the only color that intrigues me is the shade called Butt. It is like brown with a heavy green undertone. I do have this in my collection, but I just thought this was an interesting palette, specifically the layout and just that one color that I did want to talk about it. Sydney Grace Cosmetics is releasing a bunch of new shadows. I have a pretty lengthy cart right now when it comes to Sydney Grace. I tend to do that. I tend to kind of wait, get a huge cart, go ahead and make my purchases, and then I'm happy for, you know, the next couple of months. I'm not sure if I'm gonna add any of these colors. I haven't really looked through them really. None of the greens are really screaming to me. I think all of these colors are pretty, but none of them are really calling to me. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and purchase my cart as is because those colors are screaming to me. Luxie Beauty has now released completely new mattes. They already did their new collection of shimmers. And basically she's doing this because she's switching from hand pressing to factory pressing, which I'm indifferent to. I don't care. I enjoy Luxie, so I'm still gonna go ahead and support her. I did not purchase any of the new shimmers. I just was not really speaking to me, or did I? I don't think I purchased any of the new shimmers. I believe I purchased 1 or 2 shimmers, but I don't think any of them were the new ones. When it came to the shimmers, it was just like 1 or 2 because a lot of the shimmers were very neutral and I just didn't want them. I have a lot of Luxie shimmers, but the mattes are where I was really going after. I don't have very many Luxie mattes because I was not a huge fan of the mattes. Originally, I worked with them and they worked fine, but I wasn't a huge fan. And now that they're going to a machine pressed matte formula, I'm highly interested to see if I will like this formula more or less. So I did go ahead and do a pretty big order when it came to that. Makeup Forever came out with a new matte velvet skin blurring powder foundation. Good Lord. I said earlier that I just really don't need to bring any powders in my collection. I feel like that's still the case. It takes me a really long time to get through powders, even though I am combination oily. It just takes me a long time. I don't like to put too much powder on my face because then I feel like it just looks meh. But this is interesting. They do have a pretty wide shade range. I still haven't found my perfect shade in the Makeup Forever formula. I feel like if you get your perfect shade in one foundation, it's not necessarily the same in the other. So yeah, it is what it is. Next, I don't want to get too much into it. I know so many other people have already talked about it, so I'm just going to kind of breeze past it. Menagerie Cosmetics, the Whalesong palette. It has released for pre-order. I'm not sure if there's still any more slots for the pre-order, but I was able to purchase it. So I will be able to review that for you guys. I already have 2 of her palettes, which I don't have my glasses on, but they're somewhere in the front. I think that's one of them right there. And I really enjoy their formula. It's very pigmented, very blendable, and during the pre-order they were only $25. So I'm really excited to get my hands on this palette and see how it works. NARS has, I believe, fully shown their latest Orgasm collection. Who knows though, they like to trickle in random stuff. The only thing that has me slightly intrigued is that face palette situation. That looks really pretty, although the orangey shimmery blush, that reminds me of what is the name of it? Nope. Taj Mahal. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of my Taj Mahal blush. It just looks a little bit more shimmery in this picture. Who knows if it actually is. So I'm not convinced that I'm actually going to purchase this, let alone, like I said, as always, I'm not supposed to be purchasing highlighters nor blushes nor face palettes this year, but I am intrigued to see the pricing, see some reviews, and then go from there. I think this is Cosmetics, right? Yeah, Cosmetics has come out with a brow collection. It seems like a lot of brands are coming out with brow collections lately. I don't need any more brow products. I don't go through brow products very often. I'm actually trying to focus in on condensing some of my brow products, so I am good, but it is interesting. So yeah. A product that was an April Fool's joke that everybody is calling now the icy bitch of 2019 is this PICKLE palette by BYS Beauty or Cosmetics. I don't know. Cosmetics it is. This is a beautiful color scheme, beautiful arrangement. But it was a fake mock-up of a palette. Apparently they have stated that you never know, this might be releasing, but when brands do stuff like this, unless you release it like within the month, it's really hard for you to get it out before any of these dupe brands or indie brands just make their own version of it. So it'll be interesting to see if BYS themselves is able to release a palette similar if not identical to this, because we've already seen how the Icy Batch palette came with Tarte. Davina Cosmetics also did a release on April Fool's Day, but she made sure it was not an April Fool's joke. It was the Eternal Night Harmony collection set. Basically it's all grays, maybe grayed blues, grayed greens, and black. It's not screaming to me personally, just because I'm not a huge black or gray wearer. I have purchased 1 or 2 grays from some company. I don't remember which one it is. So I do have a couple of singles, and of course I have a black. So this collection is not screaming to me either, but I did just want to let you guys know in case you are interested. Bombshell Cosmetics has now released only one of the palettes fully when it comes to this lovely Malt Parlor collection. I feel like at this point they are dragging this out way too much. It's starting to annoy me to the dickens. Like, it's just annoying at this point. The one palette that they've released, it's called the Fresh, or not released, revealed, is the Fresh Baked palette. It's all neutrals and quite literally a pop of blue and a pop of green. I can't be bothered to even think about purchasing that palette. And the only other thing that they have released, in this collection visually are a bunch of eyelashes in different food packaging. So this collection as a whole pretty much does not look like it's going to be my cup of tea, which is fine because their last collection I was not a huge fan of. It's actually over here on my I don't care section, and it's the Oh Hubba Hubba. This formula was pretty thin. Like, I was not a huge fan of it. So yeah. Next, come on, go in. Thank you. Next, Dominic MUA, who I've been getting a lot of kind of sneak peeks or really in-depth photo shots of MAC collections, has sneak peeked a glitter lipstick called In Your Dreams, and it's in a MAC bullet. It's very interesting. He also swatched it, and it's like solid glitter. It does not appear to be something, oh, it's an April Fool's joke. Oh no, I was gonna say it wasn't something that was my cup of tea anyway, so I guess that works. Let's keep going. The Rose Group Beauty released a collection called Neonce, and it's basically a bunch of neon pigments. I have just recently purchased a good amount of pigments and glitters from Lana Beauty Cosmetics. I don't know, it's an Etsy brand. So I'm gonna chill when it comes to glitters and pigments until I get those. I'm able to test them out because I've been wanting to get more into those. So even though these are neons and they look kind of cool, I'm good for now. Lovelux Beauty has sneak peeked a product called Cloud Glow. We don't know what it is, but we've just seen the packaging. So interesting. It might be loose highlighters or maybe even like cream highlighters, because cloud, I don't know. We will see. Lovelux Beauty has also released 3 highlighter trios, basically giving a trio for each complexion, kind of like Alamar Beauty did for the blush trios. And I think these are beautiful and just impeccable. I really want to try the the Flourish highlighter palette, which is the darker one. Of course, I do have one of their highlighter palettes and I really do enjoy it, but this one appears that all of those could actually be, wow, this one appears that all of them could actually be glowy blushes on my skin. So I would be actually really interested to get that trio. It is already released. I don't know how much it is though. Let me see if I can figure it out. It's $27, so not very expensive at all. I would recommend this. Next is a brand that a friend has actually started and launched, and I just wanted to give her some love. I will actually be purchasing the items right after I get off of this, and it's called Soul Fu Love. It is a skincare brand, and they have launched like body butters and lotions, and there is a discount code to get 25% off. It's called Launch 25. So I'm actually really excited to test out her products and see how I like them. And I will of course let you guys know in the event that you want to try them out yourself. It is a Black owned brand, actually African owned, if you are interested. Next, Beautylish has released new brushes on their website, and the brushes are called the Units. Tara Babies posted a photo of them on her Instagram, which is the only reason why I noticed them. They are synthetic brushes. She's talking about how they're nicely weighted, this, that, and the third. None of the brushes really scream out to me, and the way, from what I can remember, they're being sold on Beautylish, it's being sold by kits, and I am not a huge fan of any of the kits. So unless Tara Babies like raves about these, I'm gonna leave them at the stove. Cosmetics has released a Dragon Eye palette, which has 4 pigments and glitters. I'm interested in this. I actually really am interested in this. The picture that I'm going to show on the screen is just, I'm assuming, the pigments. I'm on their website right now because I want to see, I would like to see how it is in the palette. Okay, so I'm going to also show you guys what it looks like in the palette. It does look different in the palette than it does in that, but I'm actually really interested in this. And you can get the collection in different formats. So if you prefer pressed, you can get pressed, you can get the pan, you can get jars, etc, etc. If you get it in the pressed palette, it's $28, and then the jar, if you get 5 grams, it's $36.99, and 10 grams, it's $48.99. I'm interested in the pressed 5-pan palette. The color scheme is interesting. I'm not a huge fan of pressed glitters, but I'm really interested in this color scheme, so I might scoop that up this month. DJ Comics, did I just say comics? I meant cosmetics. They're releasing some new sneak peeks for the spring. We haven't really seen what it is. This is a completely new indie brand for me. I have not heard about them before. So I will be interested to see what they actually come out with, and let's see if I'm actually interested in them. Range Beauty seems to be an indie makeup cosmetics brand that specializes in people of color's foundations. It looks to be a pretty wide shade range. I'm not sure if they have lighter foundation shades. I'm trying to get on their website right now. They do have like a comparison chart, which is helpful, so you can see like what shade you are compared to other brands. I'm assuming they have like Fenty, etc on there. Oh yeah, they have a pretty decent shade range, so they even have light shades as well. So this is interesting. It's only $12 for the foundation. I am definitely going to try this. This is very, very promising. I'm very interested in this. This is Black owned brand, so I would recommend, I mean, $12, you get a pretty wide shade range. I'm interested. I haven't read any of the claims, but I'm interested in trying that out. Makeup Geek has released brow duos. I am not interested for the pure fact that I like, when I have a brow duo, I like that it has the pencil on the top and the spoolie on the bottom. That is not how these are done. So I am not going to go ahead and try them out, let alone they don't have a shade that would work for me. They have like a really warm brown and then like a really, really soft brown. I'm like an ash brown when it comes to my brows. So I'm not going to scoop up any of these. Also, Benefit extended their brow shade range, adding in some 7.5s, or yeah, they added in some 0.75s and a gray shade. I've never tried any Benefit brow products, so I wouldn't know which one is mine. I'm probably a 4.5 because it's neutral deep brown. That is probably my brow hair color, but I've never tried them before, so I can't tell you how it is, although I hear great things. Shade Beauty Official is going to be releasing a Game of Tones collection. I don't think that is very subtle. I think everybody knows exactly what you're trying to do there. They have not shown much. They've just shown sneak peeks, so I will keep you posted if I see any sneak peeks. Andy Candy Makeup is releasing a new collection of singles on April 15th. I will of course show you guys the singles that I have been able to find on the screen. Do I have any Andy Candy eyeshadows? No, I only have an Andy Candy highlighter. I really did enjoy that highlighter. And the singles look fine. I just don't like that they come in single compacts. So that would be my biggest problem. But I guess if I only wanted one eyeshadow from the collection, it makes sense. So yeah. Okay, hopefully we're getting towards the end. Good Lord. MB Boutique has come out with a new mermaid blue palette. It looks pretty. It is all shimmers. I do love blue, so I have a lot of blue shimmers and mattes. And like I said, I did just purchase that Lick and Lash Playful palette, so I am going to hold off on purchasing this. The only two shadows that really scream out to me are Mermaid Blue, Starry Night, and Bubbles. Those are the three colors that really scream out to me. Other than that, I can skip the rest of the palette. Like I said, I'm gonna not purchase any of the Glaminatrix singles, but I did want to let you guys know that their bundles are currently 20% off. So if you do have a good amount of singles that you want, they do have bundles where you can do like, I want 10 eyeshadows for $10, and that's a discount, and then getting 20% off of that is pretty good. But do beware that their shipping is not cheap. Laura Mercier has released some new lipsticks. They're the Rouge Essential Silky Cream Lipstick. It is $32 each, and they come in 30 shades. I'm not purchasing these. It's way too expensive for me to purchase that, to be honest. Especially, like I said, I'm on a lipstick no buy. We'll talk about that later. So yeah. I've also wanted to try out Quartz Beauty. They have a brush set that a YouTuber that I follow pretty heavily did a review on a while ago. They are synthetic brushes, and so I kind of not canceled them, but I said I didn't want to purchase them because of that. But I'm interested. I don't want to be a snob when it comes to brushes. Not that I think it's a bad thing, but I do want to have a good arrangement of brushes, because there's, in some instances, you don't want to use natural hair brushes. For instance, today I had a cream eyeshadow in my crease, so I used like one of my Morphe brushes because I'm like, this is a synthetic brush. I don't mind if it gets janky because I'm using it with a cream. I'm not about to use it with either my Wayne Goss or my Sonia G. So I think it's good for me to have a good arrangement and selection. And from what she said, the brushes were really good. So I do want to try them. Wanda Perez Cosmetics, I have talked about them. I believe I found them off of Etsy. They have swatched a new product. It looks to be probably a bronzer or a contour. This will probably be the one product that really gets me to purchase from them. I can't remember what it was that I wanted originally, but I am keeping my eye out to see when this actually releases. And so on. I think I talked about highlighters from them. Yeah, I talked about highlighters from them and blushes. Oh, I forgot about those blushes. So let me go away. Okay, keep going. MAC has come out with a new line of MAC Strip Down collection. It's a bunch of nudes basically. I have kind of looked through these between the swatches, between Mel Thompson's lips swatch video, and just seeing what was on Ulta, and I picked out two shades that I think I'm gonna purchase, and it's S Sexy and Smoked Almond. I think those are two shades that I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up. All the other ones look okay, but just kind of not my style. So BH is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette. It's called Summer Lovin'. I did just recently watch Angelica Niquis's Must Have Must Gag, or not Must Have Must Gag, her new releases video, and I agree with her. This could definitely have been a 9-pan palette where you had greens, blues, not greens, blues, greens, purples, bronzes, and reds all condensed into that 9-pan selection, and then it might have been a little bit more interesting. Morphe has come out with round 2 collaboration with Desi Danger. I assume I should know who that is because this is their second collab, but I don't. It is just appearing to be a rose gold highlighter. What is going on with my camera? I will say I do have one of their highlighters. I can't be bothered to get it, but it is a really nice formula, very creamy to the touch, and does apply well on my face. So if you don't have a rose gold highlighter, by all means, their highlighters are not expensive at all. It's only $14, and I think if you like a pretty banging highlighter, you will like it. But I already have a rose gold. I'm trying not to get any more highlighters, so we're gonna skip. Persona Cosmetics is coming out with their Identity 2 palette. Their first Identity palette was basically a cool toned purple palette. I did not purchase it just because I had a lot of purples in palettes, singles, etc, etc, and that palette just was not screaming to me. I want to see what this color scheme is. Depending on what the color scheme is, I may purchase it, and I still never did purchase their like little 5-pan palettes. I heard those were good along with the brushes and the eyeliner. I just never got around to purchasing it. So yeah, ColourPop came out with a festival seasons collection, and it's a lot going on. A lot going on. The only thing that really is catching my attention and making me wish I was able to have purchased it when I made my previous collection purchase were the gel liners. I have a lot of ColourPop's gel liners, and depending on the liner, it works pretty well on my waterline. My waterlines are like the worst, so it has nothing to do with the liners. I have very stubborn waterline situation. But the colors are very, very pretty. I already have a yellow. I believe I already have an orange from them, but that green is worth it. You can get 4 of the shades apparently for $6, which is insane. Or maybe it's $6 each. I don't know. If it's $6 each, I'll only get that green. If it's the set, I'll get all of them. But yeah, I'm highly interested in that. Everything else, I'm not really interested in, so we will keep moving. Too Faced is adding yet another thing to their peach lineup, and it looks to be a glowy blush. From the packaging, I'm assuming it's another cream product, but from the picture, it looks to be a powder product. So I'm interested. It does remind me of my... So the picture reminds me of this highlighter or this blush that I have from Too Faced, and this is my Cherry Bomb blush from their Tutti Frutti line. Mixing these two together, I feel like I would get this color. So I particularly don't need this, but if they came out with other shades, then maybe, because I love a glowy blush. So we will see. Kat Von D has sneak peeked some packaging. It's a compact packaging. We don't really know what is going to be in it. She also did release something new. She released some crayons, some like liner crayons. It didn't get posted on any social media yet, and for of course a reason. A lot of people are out when it comes to Kat Von D right now. Yeah, but those look interesting. I don't use a lot of those very often. Like I said, I'm trying to get into more cream products like that, just specifically for like work. Like I feel like throwing a cream on my eyes and going would be nice. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see what she intends to put in this flower compact. Black Moon Cosmetics has now fully revealed their new eyeshadow palette. It's the one that has all the shimmers in them. The only thing from this palette that is calling me in is the Transformer Shift color in the middle, which is the biggest pan. Everything else is just not my cup of tea at all, but that middle shade is beautiful. I'm sure I have it somewhere in my collection, so I'm just going to do an easy pass on this, but it is very, very pretty. NOMAD Cosmetics has come out with a new eyeshadow palette. It's called the MARRAKESH MEDINA eyeshadow palette. It's very neutral with a pop of blue on that one row and maybe like some reds. For me, it's not my cup of tea, and I ended up not purchasing their first eyeshadow palette that I heard about from them because I saw Angelica's review and basically she was saying how there wasn't that many mattes, and I am a fan of mattes, so I just kind of passed on it, but we'll see. Clionadh Cosmetics, I did talk about them earlier in this dragged on stained glass collection, but they did show us the pan formation, so I did want to show you guys those. I do want to show you that in comparison, they're kind of pulling a Makeup Forever and switching up their panned arrangement. So all of their other pans have been circles. So just to show you guys, these are all Clionadh. I don't know. Somebody just tried to correct me and I don't know. This place, you know what I'm talking about. This is their singles in this particular palette. I have more, but either way, they're switching up their size and their shape, which is highly annoying for people who actually collect their singles, because then like how are they supposed to put them in the same palette, you know? So for me, like, that's another reason why I'm just kind of like over this stained glass collection. But I'm gonna leave room for judgment until after the full thing has been released. What is this lady's name? Charlotte Tilbury. There you go. Charlotte Tilbury has released 2 face palettes. The darker one. Guys, I need to swatch this in store. I don't know if I have any Sephora near me that actually carries Charlotte Tilbury. I can't be bothered to actually look in that section, to be honest, but these palettes look beautiful, and to be honest, I kind of want both. Like, I want the one for the darker bronzer and stuff, but the other one because it has brighter blushes that'll work more on my skin tone. Y'all, they both look pretty, but they have not said how much they're going to be, nor when they're actually going to be releasing. So I'm just going to reserve judgment and wait. Hank & Henry is actually coming out with a brush collection as well. It is going to be vegan and cruelty free, which means it's going to clearly be synthetic. We've only seen kind of a sneak peek of the brushes. Let me see if they have said they're going to be releasing on the 9th, so in a couple of days. I haven't seen any prices. They said they'd be releasing them soon, and I don't see. Apparently none of the brushes are more than $19 each, so relatively cheap range. We will see. I want to see them. We will see. So yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted. I think we're at the end. We only have 3 more releases to talk about next. Touch of Glam has now started to sneak peek the colors that she's going to be releasing in her new formula. She has sneak peeked 7 of the the shadows, and she's given us the inspiration behind them. So she has the darkest one, which is Sun Tweed, and it reminds her of the Arabian desert. She has a light blue, which is called Dreamcatcher, reminding her of the Northern Lights. She has like a mocha latte shade, which reminds her of coffee. Then she has like a pink with like a green undertone, which she said something about excellence. I got kicked out. Then she has a peaches and cream shade that reminds her of peach tarts. She has another light blue shade that reminds her of nudie branch. I'm assuming that's a animal. I have no idea what that is. And then the last shade that she sneak peeked is called Seduce Me. And that reminds her of like bubblegum pink stuff. I believe she has 1 or 2 more singles to release, and then it'll be going out as a bundle. I am extremely interested to try these shadows. I like in the same palette, this was her vivid, or this is her vivid collection, and I did do a swatch party on this. I loved these. Thank you very much. Have I posted it? I believe I posted it. Who knows? These last couple of weeks have been a blur at this point. And I don't even have any more room in this palette nor her actual palette. So touch of glam, you're just overflowing into 3 different palettes. But I'm highly interested in scooping up a couple. I don't know if I'm going to get the whole bundle. It depends on what the price is of the whole bundle and where my finances are at that time. Lancome just released that they're going to be coming out with a Monsieur Big palette. Monsieur Big Maxi palette. Basically, it's going to be 12 shades of love. Okay. Woo! I like the color scheme. Had this come out when I was searching for pink shades and stuff, I would have probably picked this up, even though it is high end. But because I have that full palette of pink eyeshadows, I do not need this. But I will assume that, what is her name? Oh, Emily Violet Marie. I think that's her name. I'm assuming that she will definitely pick it up because she loves pinks. So I can't wait to see her pick it up and review it. And this is not going to be releasing until around May, April time period. And that's it. That's all I have. I know I've been talking for a very long time. A lot of things have been releasing lately that have been catching my attention. Ooh. See, this is why you don't go on trend mood when you feel like you're done. Let me just scoop through these really quickly since I'm here, and then I will talk about the new stuff, the new that I just found. Okay, so the only new item that I want to talk about is Natasha Denona has now released another new mini duo. I believe this is a mini duo. Yeah, it is a mini duo, and it's called Bronze and Glow. So that is that. So now she has the Diamond and Glow, Bronze and Glow, and Blush and Glow, which is nice. I don't think any of these will really work on my skin tone. Maybe the Diamond and Glow, but yeah, I haven't purchased any. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Like I said, I don't know when this is going to be going up. I'm going to do my best to get this up as soon as I can. I will definitely be getting it up this week, but it's going to be a lot to get back in the swing of things when it comes to school, work, etc., etc. I'm freaking out because I can't find my flash drive that has my thesis on it. So, you know, very important things that I should be worrying about right now, but I'm trying to keep myself calm. So I think that's all I have for you guys. As always, y'all, it has been real. Peace.